want to talk about what it was like for me as a girl rider learning. I'll show you my bike right here. This is my GSXR 750. Her name, of course, Kaminari. I've had this bike since May of this year. Love it. Not my first bike. I started riding basically in January. Took my MSF course, got my license, bought a little 250. But now I have upgraded. I thought I'd be on that 250 for a year. But it didn't work out that way. Let's get out of here. Took that MSF course, and it was great. I had a female instructor, which was pretty cool. And I was really scared. Put me on some crazy bike that I never thought I'd be able to ride, but I didn't. Got my license. I think I had already bought my 250, honestly. Got a really good deal on it. Knew I could probably sell it, if riding wasn't for me or it didn't work out, but fortunately it did. Passed the course. Didn't drop the bike. Hooray. So I started off with my little 250, rode around neighborhoods, honestly kind of afraid to go fast. There was a lot I didn't understand, honestly, about the bike. I never had driven a stick shift car, and it was interesting learning about the clutch and how to control, your speed and braking, everything. It was interesting, and as a girl, the little 250 was great for me because it wasn't so heavy. It was I think it was a 06 Ninja 250. And just great to learn on. I got rid of it, like I said, pretty quickly, but I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Just a great bike to learn on. It really taught me a lot about shifting, because obviously I went through all the gears pretty quickly. At first, I was so afraid to go fast. I didn't know my turns, if I was turning into a road and there was a car there, like, watch out, like, cutting it tight, I'd get scared. I didn't know what gear, do I need to downshift every time I go to turn? But I got it, I'm sure. There was one time I was on a 35-mile-an-hour road, and that was a big deal. Just, like within the neighborhood. And I remember there was just a line of cars behind me, man. Pretty stout. But I didn't care, I did my thing, took my time learning. But picked it up, finally got comfortable with the speed. And then once I got comfortable, it was hard. I'd go out on group rides, and all these people in their super sports, and everybody had faster bikes than me, get on the interstate and, red line, out of gears. That's it. Can't go any faster. Not only that, but I was getting blown all over the damn interstate. It was rough. It got to the point, honestly, where I didn't feel safe, and it wasn't fun anymore. Yes, people say any bike is better than no bike, and to some degree, I agree with that, but I don't know, it started to not be fun for me. I could feel the limitations of the bike I was on, and I know, in groups, people like having a girl rider around, so everybody was, totally cool about it, and would kind of hang back with me sometimes, which I appreciated. But it was on me. It wasn't other people calling me out for being on a 250 or anything like that. It was me in my head, just riding around other people and When I bought that 250, let me tell you, I was in heaven. I thought that was the coolest thing I had ever seen. I couldn't believe I was gonna ride that. I loved it for about, I don't know, 2 months, 2.5 months. And then it was hard to get on it. I wanted to ride my boyfriend's first bike, which was a GS500. I started to ride that, knowing, you know, I would upgrade soon, and I wanted to ride a bigger bike. I wanted to be comfortable on a bigger bike, a heavier bike, and I grew to love that GS500. Amazing bike. Also, I'm sure would be a great starter bike. It would just felt heavy for me, being a girl. It was great to get used to the 250 and then get on the GS. So in May, I kicked it up a notch. I was looking at, you know, CBR 600s, the GSXR 600. In fact, I actually said I would never buy a GSXR, just because everybody has them. I didn't think I'd end up on a super sport, honestly. I thought I'd be on a more upright bike. But we went to a Suzuki demo days. I got on that 600, and so began the super sport riding career. They told me it was going to be like Christmas, and it was. And now I certainly see why there's so many GSXRs on the road. It just has plenty of power. It's so smooth. You know, it makes my old Ninja 250 just look like a, well, I was going to say a clunky hunk of junk, but I shouldn't speak that way about the bike that got me started. But it's true. It was a little clunky, and man, this thing is so smooth. I love it. And I'll admit I dropped it a few times. The weight of it as a girl has certainly been an issue. At first, you know, like finding balance on the bike, and there were a couple times I stalled it, and that certainly caught me off guard, like stalling at a light or a stop catches you off guard, and then the weight is just instantly, well, it was an issue for me. I definitely dropped it, but all my drops at this point, I'm coming up on a year in January, all my drops have been from a standstill. I don't know, probably a handful of drops, you know, as I was getting used to the bike. But now I'm pretty comfortable on it. Comfortable enough that you know, I'm ready. We've been to the Blue Ridge Parkway several times. Went as much as we possibly could this year. Prepping for Tail of the Dragon next year, hopefully late spring. I'd like to get there, and you know, I've heard about this road, that it's a little more serious than some of the parkway that we've been on, but I look forward to that. You know, I embrace the challenge. I feel ready, and we're gonna get some more parkway runs in before that. Be practicing my turns, but I feel great about hitting the tail. Really looking forward to it. And the beauty is that I work for myself. Took a risk, big risk. Started my own company, and it's been working out so far. About the time I got this bike, actually, in May, I quit my job and started my company, and it's been doing really well so far. And like I said, the beauty of that is I decide when I can ride, and frequently, you know, I get to go out to meetings and I can take my bike, which is awesome. Like the cold weather, I'll ride. 40 and below is pretty rough. Don't really want to do that, but I put a lot of time in riding and practicing. I loved it. I wanted to be good at it, and it's paid off. I mean, here I am on my 750. Haven't even been riding a year. Love this bike. Love riding. I think, you know, all things go well, I can't imagine not riding, you know, the rest of my life. I think I will always have a bike or multiple bikes. So, thanks for watching.